Oh no. No, please.
This way, power!
The Princess Bride might look like a fun fairy tale, but behind the scenes, things were wild, stressful, and sometimes painful. Here are 20 strange, surprising, and interesting facts about how the movie was made. Fact number 20. A story no studio wanted. The Princess Bride seems like an obvious hit today, but back then almost every studio rejected it. William Goldman, the author, had already won 2 Oscars, yet Hollywood still said the story was too strange, too hard to sell, and too unusual for audiences. The project sat untouched for years until director Rob Reiner read the book and instantly fell in love. He promised Goldman that he would protect the humor, the structure, and the magical tone. This trust finally convinced Goldman to hand over the rights, giving the movie a second chance to exist. Fact number 19. The frame story almost got removed. Even after the film was approved, studio executives tried to change the structure. They didn't like the jumps between the fairy tale world and the boy hearing the story in bed. They said it was confusing and wanted the movie to follow a single timeline. William Goldman refused and threatened to quit if they touched the frame story. Rob Reiner supported him completely. Keeping the grandfather reading the book was essential because it showed how stories get passed from one generation to the next. Their decision saved one of the most heartwarming parts of the film. Fact number 18. Finding Wesley took months. Casting Wesley was harder than expected. The team looked at countless actors, but none captured the perfect mix of charm, humor, and hero energy the role needed. Then Cary Elwes arrived. He didn't even audition. He simply talked with Rob Reiner, and everyone instantly felt he was Wesley. As soon as he left the room, Reiner said, "That's him." Cary had the ideal blend of confidence, kindness, and that classic fairy tale look. The role required someone believable as both the humble farm boy and the dread pirate Roberts, and Elwes fit effortlessly. Fact number 17. Cary Elwes acted with a broken toe. During filming, André the Giant let Cary Elwes try out his massive all-terrain vehicle. Cary accidentally crashed it and broke his big toe. There was no time to rest or postpone scenes, so he kept working through intense pain. In many scenes, including the fire swamp, the torture moments, and the sword sequences, Cary is quietly hiding the injury. He adjusted his stance, leaned differently, and even limped off camera. What looks effortless on screen was actually extremely painful. Most viewers never notice, but Cary was essentially acting while injured for much of the movie. Fact number 16. Billy Crystal injured Mandy Patinkin, accidentally. Billy Crystal, who played Miracle Max, appeared on set with unstoppable energy. He improvised constantly, making new jokes every take. His performance was so hilarious that Mandy Patinkin, Inigo, struggled to stay serious. At one point, Mandy tried so hard not to laugh that he pulled a muscle and bruised a rib. Ironically, this ended up being his only injury during filming, not from intense sword fighting, but from laughing too hard. Crystal's wild improvisation helped give Miracle Max his chaotic charm and made those scenes unforgettable for both the cast and the audience. Fact number 15. The knockout scene was completely real. During Wesley's capture scene, Count Rugen knocks him out with the hilt of his sword. Cary Elwes suggested that Christopher Guest hit him just a little harder to make it look more real. Christopher agreed, and accidentally hit too hard. Cary fell unconscious for real and woke up on the floor with no memory of the moment. The shot they captured wasn't acting, it was an actual knockout. The filmmakers used it in the final cut because it looked perfectly authentic. That dazed expression Cary has in the film is genuine, not performed. Fact number 14. Many big stars auditioned for Buttercup. The role of Buttercup attracted many rising actresses, including Uma Thurman, Courtney Cox, and Meg Ryan. They were talented, but something was missing. When Robin Wright auditioned, everything changed. She had a soft, natural sadness and a quiet strength that made her feel like a true fairy tale princess. She wasn't famous yet, but she didn't need to be. Rob Reiner said that she didn't just play Buttercup, she was Buttercup. Her gentle presence helped balance the humor and adventure, grounding the story with a sincere emotional center that audiences could believe in. Fact number 13. Billy Crystal was too funny for the director. Billy Crystal's scenes as Miracle Max were nearly impossible to film. He never repeated a line the same way twice, constantly creating new jokes. Rob Reiner laughed so hard during filming that he kept ruining the audio. The crew finally forced him to step away from the set and watch from a distant monitor. Even then, Crystal's improvised insults and silly voices caused chaos. Mandy Patinkin kept breaking character, injuring his ribs from holding in laughter. Although frustrating at the time, this wild energy made those scenes some of the most memorable moments in the movie. Fact number 12. Wallace Shawn thought he was getting fired. Wallace Shawn was iconic as Vizzini, but behind the scenes, he felt terrified. He heard a rumor that Danny DeVito was the studio's first choice for the role. Because of that, Shawn constantly feared he would be replaced. He overthought every line and doubted every performance. The stress got so bad that he even had a panic attack during filming. Ironically, his unique voice and quirky delivery became one of the most quoted parts of the movie. His insecurity ended up making the role even funnier and more memorable, proving he was the perfect choice all along. Fact number 11. The sword fight took months of training. The sword fight between Wesley and Inigo is considered one of the greatest duels in film history. Cary Elwes and Mandy Patinkin trained for months with highly respected fencing masters. They practiced every day, learning exact footwork, timing, and choreography. Most of the fight was filmed in long shots, meaning the actors had to perform long sections perfectly without stunt doubles. They also delivered dialogue while moving at high speed. Their dedication made the scene feel genuine and intense. What looks effortless took countless hours of hard work, rehearsal, and discipline. Fact number 10. The fire swamp was miserable to film. The fire swamp scenes look magical on screen, but filming them was extremely uncomfortable. The set trapped heat, and fog machines filled the air with thick, hot steam. The giant rat costumes were unbearably hot, and the person inside them almost fainted multiple times. Cary Elwes nearly passed out from heat exhaustion. Although the fire swamp looks like a dangerous fantasy world, the real danger came from the heat, the heavy costumes, and the exhausting environment. The actors pushed through all of it to make the scenes memorable and visually striking. Fact number 9. The final kiss took over. 30 takes. The movie ends with Wesley and Buttercup sharing the perfect kiss. Director Rob Reiner insisted it had to feel magical, gentle, and timeless. So they filmed it again and again. More than 30 takes. The sun kept shifting, the timing felt off, and something always seemed slightly wrong. Cary Elwes and Robin Wright were exhausted, and their lips probably felt numb by the end. But Reiner kept pushing until he captured the version that felt just right. The final kiss wasn't flashy, but it felt tender and earned, which was exactly what he wanted. Fact number 8. André the Giant couldn't lift people. André the Giant looked incredibly strong, but in real life he had severe back problems from years of wrestling. By the time filming began, his spine was extremely weak. He couldn't lift Cary Elwes or Robin Wright. Every lifting scene used hidden wires, body doubles, or clever camera angles. The cast and crew worked carefully around André's limitations, protecting him as much as possible. His gentle personality and charm made Fezzik lovable, even though his physical strength was mostly movie magic. His real strength came from his heart, not his muscles. Fact number 7. Inigo's revenge came from real pain. For Mandy Patinkin, playing Inigo Montoya was deeply emotional. He lost his father to cancer when he was young, and the pain stayed with him. When he delivered the famous line, "You killed my father, prepare to die," he imagined he was fighting death itself. Each repetition was filled with real grief and love. Mandy later said the scene helped him feel closer to his father and gave him a sense of emotional healing. What audiences thought was great acting was actually a powerful personal moment for Mandy behind the character. Fact number 6. The movie was a box office flop. When The Princess Bride came out in 1987, it didn't perform well. People didn't know how to classify it. Was it a romance, a comedy, a fantasy, or a kids' movie? The studio struggled to advertise it correctly, and audiences didn't rush to theaters. But then the VHS era arrived. Families discovered it at home, kids memorized the lines, and fans shared it with others. Slowly, the movie became beloved. It didn't win big at the box office, but it became a timeless classic through years of word-of-mouth love. Fact number 5. The cast reunited. In 2020, during the COVID-19 lockdown in 2020, the world felt uncertain and lonely. The cast of The Princess Bride reunited online to raise money for pandemic relief. They acted out scenes from their homes using simple props, phone cameras, and humor. Even though it looked silly and low budget, fans loved it. Seeing the cast together again brought comfort and nostalgia during a difficult time. It reminded people that the movie wasn't just entertainment. It was a source of hope, humor, and connection that continued across generations. Fact number 4. Fred Savage was discovered in a pizza shop. Fred Savage, who played the grandson, wasn't found through auditions or casting calls. Rob Reiner happened to see him in a pizza place and instantly felt he had the right presence for the role. Without a long process or rehearsals, Fred was offered the part. His natural innocence and honesty made the reading scenes feel real and heartfelt. When he asks his grandfather to return the next day and read the story again, it doesn't sound like acting. It sounds like a real child enjoying a moment of warmth and imagination. Fact number 3. The movie was added to the Library of Congress. In 2016, The Princess Bride was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. This honor is given only to movies that are culturally important and worth keeping forever. The film wasn't chosen because it made a lot of money, but because it had a long-lasting impact. It became a symbol of storytelling, love, humor, and family tradition. Being placed alongside classic films like Casablanca and The Wizard of Oz proved that The Princess Bride grew into something far bigger than its original box office results. Fact number 2. André the Giant never saw the movie in theaters. André the Giant's health declined by the time the movie premiered. Traveling and sitting for long periods were too painful for him. Rob Reiner offered to bring a private screening directly to him, but André politely refused. He said he didn't need to watch it. He had lived the experience, loved the people he worked with, and felt proud of the film. Today, he is still one of the most beloved parts of the movie. Fans quote his lines, admire his warmth, and remember him as the gentle giant who stole their hearts. Fact number 1. The movie became a cultural tradition. The Princess Bride didn't fade away like many films. Instead, it became a part of people's lives. Fans quote it daily, name their children after characters, and even have themed weddings with lines from the movie read in vows. Marriage is what brings us together today became a wedding favorite. The film is now passed from parents to children, just like in the story with the grandfather and grandson. It's more than a movie, it's a shared tradition, full of love, humor, and memories that continue through generations.